So your local Best Buy might have aisle after aisle of electronics, but it has nothing on the cornucopia of wacky and wild and whimsical that you'd find in Japan, which of course is the home of gadgets to begin with. So here to talk about his recent visit to CEATEC, which is the Japanese giant convention of all their manufacturers and prototypes and inventors and smart people, is Tom Samiljan from Switch.com. Hey Tom.
Hey, what's up?
How's the jet lag treating you?
I think I'm better now. I've been back about a week,
only been
but it
2
was
weeks, right?
pretty brutal. Yeah, it was brutal at first, but when the gadgets keep me awake, so
right.
So
what does this mean that you're a tech pert?
Well, I was on a panel of American thought leaders, as they were calling them, and basically, or they're calling us. Basically, we were asked to go to CEATEC to look at all of the new stuff there, all the new gadgets, and pick superlative items, things that were really innovative, things that maybe had legs and would maybe come to the US in a few years, just things that we thought were innovative technologies that impressed us.
Okay, so what did you see that might come here? I mean, as you're in your tech pert eyes, what did you choose or the panel choose as terms of cool stuff?
Well, probably the thing that I think struck us the most and that we saw having the most legs were super thin flat panel displays. So televisions that are super thin. So we've got
thinner than your regular panel that you have at Best Buy.
We have flat panels already, but these were flat panels that are less than an inch thick, for example.
Wow.
The Sony OLED display, which can be seen on Switch.com or in a lot of blogs online. I mean, it's not very big. It's a very small television, only 10 inches, but it is extremely thin, brilliant color, and just looks really, really nice.
Now, OLED is organic LED, right?
Yeah, organic LED, yes, exactly. And so it's a new technology that provides a lot more color and is, a lot of people are saying might be take over LCD, in the future. I mean, there were so many different science fair-like projects. They were showing bracelets that had different screens on them. The wackiest thing,
like the wackiest application of a screen.
The wackiest application of a screen?
Yeah.
I think probably the wackiest screen I saw was one that was kind of like a bracelet, but it was almost like paper thin kind of a thing.
You can watch TV, but you have to keep on moving your hand to read the crawl.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool, but it wasn't, it wasn't fully fleshed out again like a lot of these science fair type projects.
Right. Gesture-based computing, motion-based stuff, that was a big thing.
Yeah, we saw a couple of interesting interfaces, if you will, or ways to kind of control computers and other devices that were totally based on how you move your hands and things like that. So, you'll never have to worry about losing your remote control again because everything will be based on gestures you make. Toshiba was showing some interesting gesture-based interfaces thanks to a new chip they have called Spurs, the Spurs engine. It's a new processor they have called the Spurs engine.
What kind of gestures are these? I mean, I get an image of Minority Report.
Right. Well, for now, it's still like you have to stand in front of the computer and do very specific gestures, like thumbs up means yes. Thumbs down means no.
So it's not like playing a theremin.
No, not yet. I mean, it's not the kind of thing where it's catching you as you walk by and analyzing you, or you can just wave as you're driving by quickly. You have to be there. We also saw Pioneer also had kind of an interesting interface for the car, like a control system, kind of a GPS thing that had some kind of motion-based elements, but I thought they were kind of superfluous ultimately, and I wasn't that interested in that one. But it goes to show you that people are trying to get gesture-based controls into all kinds of things, not just computers or gaming systems, but also into the car.
So what about robots? They're everywhere in Japan, at least, or at least they seem to be very excited about robots.
What's interesting is that Sony has not given up on the consumer robotics game. I mean, they've actually released this thing called the Rolly, R-O-L-L-Y, but it's this crazy robotic speaker that spins around and does all kinds of crazy moves. You can blast music to it via Bluetooth, or you can sort of program the different dance moves it does, or it does its own kind of dance moves based on the music that you've put in there. It's just a crazy, useless, whimsical, and yet beautifully engineered, very Japanese product.
And speaking of whimsical and beautifully engineered, as you were telling me earlier, in Japan you'll have boutique designers with gadgets that are, similar to boutique fashion houses in New York, and you brought some stuff along.
This is a retro alarm clock from this company called Amadana, which does, it comes in various different colors.
It's just an alarm clock.
It's just an alarm clock, but it's just got a very kind of a retro sort of early 60s, late 50s, maybe even a 1940s look.
But it's still got a futuristic with a light up.
Absolutely,
dial.
And it's got this crazy alarm that's.
Oh,
it's kind of a
soothing.
Yeah, like a loungy
jet setting and
There's
Brazilian.
even a jet sound. It's kind of a loungy 1960s
It
jet.
actually has the jet sound
Jet
in
set
there?
sound, yeah. And I mean, you can get this at the MoMA Design Store, the Museum of Modern Art Design Store. You should be able to get it online there. You can also get it at a place called dynamism.com, which is a store that's special. Yeah, there's a guy there, Doug Crone, who actually started this company. He literally, specializes in bringing very unique Japanese gadgets to the international market, but definitely to the U.S. market.
Now, this is this dog here with a USB connection.
Now this is just basically this is just a
that
goof,
is elegant design.
Yeah, it's elegant design, as you can see. But basically, this is the only holiday gift
here so we can
you will
plug it
ever
in.
need.
Or several of these.
Or several of these. I mean, I should have bought 50, but I only bought 3.
Wow!
It's the humping dog, as they call it, and
is that what it is in Japanese? This is how it's described.
Yeah, it's on the packaging. That's what it says. So that's just useless, but it's kind of hilarious. It just uses the USB power to power this. Engineers spent time designing this humping dog.
I wonder how long they spent. And what else does it do?
Basically, it just sits there.
Just sits there, and
basically, it can go all night. You could leave it on forever, and the only thing that's kind of a pain is actually pulling it out. I'm always afraid I'm going to break it. But
I mean, obviously, this stuff is in Japan. You can get it at that dynamism.com. The rest, the OLED screens, the super thin screens, are going to be coming to the U.S. in some form, at least, at CES. And of course, you can learn more about all of this stuff and follow it as Tom posts his recollections and memories from his trip to Japan on Switch.com.